Okay, I've been using the iPhone 17e for about a week now, and here's my super honest take. There's gonna be three sort of sections to this video. The first one is my little review here. The second part is gonna be how I'm gonna be using this phone moving forward. And then the third part is gonna be introducing a special guest to show you how best to use this phone, in my opinion. So let's just dive right in. My first thought is that Apple has just made all of their lineup across all of their products extremely capable. Whether you're paying for the iPhone 17 Pro or all the way down to the entry-level E model, everything just works flawlessly. And I think for the average consumer, it makes it kind of hard to know which phone to choose. And honestly, in my opinion, this comes down to just a couple questions. Do you need the cameras? And how do you feel about the refresh rate on these devices? You know, on this channel, we talk about sort of the average consumer angle more than anything. Just because like not everyone needs to be shooting cinema quality feature films on their phone, right? I'm talking to people like my friends, my family, who are like, which phone should I buy? And I have a certain budget, right? And when I think about it from that angle, the only real differentiators are, how many cameras do you want for your day-to-day life? Like, do you zoom in a lot to take nature photos? Do you have kids that you'd like to zoom in across a soccer field and video, right? Or can you get by with this kind of thing, like moving towards your subject or back from your subject, or you just don't really take that many photos, right? Maybe you're just scanning documents or something. The second question to me is the refresh rate. Now, coming from the 17 Pro and having that 120 hertz ProMotion refresh rate for a few years now, I did notice more than I thought I would going back to a 60 hertz refresh rate. But if you're coming from an older phone where you've had that refresh rate, 60 hertz, then you're not gonna notice a difference here. You're just gonna notice a difference in capability of this device, especially the camera quality, the performance. It's just solid. Now, I will stand by what I said. I think this is the most beautifully designed iPhone back that is out there right now. I wish they would have gotten rid of the notch. I think it still looks kind of nice, to be honest with you. I'm used to seeing it on my MacBook Air, for instance. But the single camera and this white color and the black color and even the pink blush color they came out with this year, this is the best. Like, this design is ugly, in my opinion. Sorry, but wow, like so clean here. Let's talk about performance really quickly. You know, my sort of test for gaming is playing like Call of Duty. This handled it no problem. Like, it just smooth like butter. And I don't play huge AAA titles or anything on here other than Call of Duty, I guess is kind of a AAA title, because I kind of think mobile gaming is silly unless you're playing like Candy Crush, like the quick stuff. Sudoku, my wife and I have been playing a lot, the New York Times Sudoku game. Totally handles it, no issue there. Now, something this does have that the iPhone Air doesn't even have is stereo speakers, and they sound great. Being able to watch a video like this, hear from both sides, it's awesome. I so wish the iPhone Air had that, and maybe the second generation will. Crossing my fingers on that one. Now, another angle here, and I've sort of mentioned it before, maybe in some other videos, and I've heard other people say this too. This phone costs about the same as this phone and this, the MacBook Neo. This is like creator, college student, elderly person. This is like everything you need to run a business or look at your photos or make decisions on your calendar. Average consumer and even into like a creator economy kind of person, this is huge, and it's the same price as this. So it's a question to ask. You know, depending on your use case, you can get a phone and a laptop for about the price of a premium phone. Just something to think about there. So, who's it for? I definitely think, due to the points I mentioned here, like if you don't need a triple camera setup, if you're fine with this, you can still take beautiful images here. If you're coming from an older phone, this is a newer phone that is probably more capable than an older phone, even though this is like the entry level kind of nerfed version of the iPhone. So I don't really know, you know, who this is for. And I think the decision becomes harder and harder to distinguish between these. I do think cameras are the biggest differentiating factor. I do miss having a zoom lens on here. Just gonna say it. I do miss having a wide angle on here. So just something to think about. All right, so section 2 here is kind of the big deal of this video, and that's how I'm gonna be using this. If I choose to keep this, I might send it back to Apple, but I use an iPhone 13 mini as my sort of essential phone. It's the phone that I use on nights and weekends with my family that only has like text, call, FaceTime, calendar, thermostat, like those types of tools and essential apps that I need to sort of run my life as a husband and father and homeowner and friend. But social media is not on there, YouTube's not on there, no games on there. Like it's just an essential phone. But it also keeps me in the Apple ecosystem. So I don't have to have like weird green bubbles on nights and weekends and not be able to take photos that back up to our Apple Photos and things like that. That said, just having essential apps on here is fine. But I wanted to introduce you all, if you don't know him already, to my friend Andrew Clare, who's an amazing YouTuber, content creator. He does it all on the side, if you can believe that. He has a full-time job and he shoots everything on his iPhone. Andrew does a really good job of setting up his phone in really aesthetic ways. And so I asked him if he would show me a way that I can set up my essential phone for nights and weekends in an aesthetically pleasing way so that it looks nice and is still a joy to use. So I'm gonna throw it over to him and be back with you all in a second.
Hey Spencer, hey everyone, I'm Andrew, and if you don't know me or my channel, I make tech videos, I create digital products, and I love iOS setups. And all the content that you see on my channel is filmed using my iPhone. Alright, so like Spencer, I've also been using the iPhone 17e, and this right here is my current iOS 26 setup. When I approach iOS setups, there are a few essentials that I don't want to miss on. First, I always have a clean wallpaper, something that genuinely inspires me like nature or the mountains. And if you want the best place to find free wallpapers, just go to an app called Unsplash. I also like to keep a monochromatic look, mostly black, white, and grayish looks. I also like to keep my setup to one page. I really don't like having a lot of different pages to find different apps. I do wish there was a way to turn off the app library, but unfortunately in iOS, you can't turn it off. And it sounds obvious, but I just want quick access to my most essential apps, or at least the apps that I want to be on the most. I really try to hold off having social media on this homepage. Not that it always helps, but I feel like it does make me kind of think if I want to go to Twitter, I actually have to search for it rather than just tapping really quick into it. So there are a few different apps you will need for this kind of setup. The first app is going to be Apple Calendar, Apple Shortcuts, Widget, and Sync Tasks. The wallpapers, widgets, and icons are from a pack made by a creator named Daniel. I actually purchased the pack and I really enjoyed using it. The wallpaper that I chose, you can find it for free, but on the home screen, if you want that half wallpaper, half white look, that template was created by Daniel, so that's what you're kind of paying for, plus the icons and widgets that he made. So you'll have to buy it if you want to do this exact setup. So on the screen, I have 3 widgets. The Apple Calendar widget, a minimalist reminder widget from Sync Tasks, and an interactive widget that's included in the pack that I bought. It gives me a full look at my calendar, music, and other stuff. And lastly, the apps that I use the most, I have ChatGPT, phone, Apple Music, and this awesome dock menu. Outside of ChatGPT, I'm using custom icons for the icons, and I can create this dock menu in the Shortcuts app. If I tap on it, it opens up that I have Safari, Messages, and YouTube. And a little extra tip, I really don't like to have the widget's name at the bottom, kind of like the app names. So you can actually turn this off by going into Edit, then Customize, and then selecting the icon right here. And that's my iOS setup. If you actually want to do this setup yourself, there's a full setup guide on my channel that you can check out. And I want to thank Spencer for inviting me by. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for watching, and God bless.
That is so dope. Thank you, Andrew. Please go subscribe to him, follow him around the internet. He makes great content. He puts out a ton of content, and he's always been a creator that I've looked up to. But that's going to do it for this video. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the iPhone 17e, as well as what you thought of Andrew's minimalist essential phone setup. Let me know in the comments down below. On this channel, we help you discover products that are intentionally designed and well made so that you can build a calmer, more focused life. We love products that marry form and function. So if that sounds cool to you, please subscribe, like this video for more, hype it up if you would, watch this video next. I think you're going to love it, and we'll see you all in the next one.